to our free masterclass webinar. I have given this in the past live, but what I wanted to do was to create just a specific video just to go over everything that is covered in the live. However, people aren't always able to come to a live event, so I wanted to make sure that nobody missed out on the opportunity to actually listen to what we had to offer. This is going to be 90 minutes of great content, okay? We're going to go over all sorts of things, and I'm so glad that you're here. Our coaching sessions for our paid students is already underway. We kicked off this past Saturday, February the 8th. It was a phenomenal success. So after you get through this 90 minutes, or maybe you don't even make it that far, and you're like, you know what, I have got to join that community, there is going to be an opportunity for you to do so. You can just check the link in the description and it will give you all the information. So let's go ahead and get started, because there is a lot of information that we're going to have to cover on today. Hopefully you have gotten you something good to drink. I've got my coffee going. You're going to definitely need a notebook, and you're going to need something to write with. So today the topic is 10x your business success, the mindset and strategy to start strong. Here's the agenda. So we're just going to do a quick welcome and introduction that'll take us a few minutes. Then we're going to go into the 10x mindset. It is very, very important that you set yourself up in the right mindset so that you can be successful in anything that you do. How to build a strong foundation, introduction to 10x sales and marketing, and then we're going to do a little bit of Randy's resource roundup introduction. Not going to go much into that because there's going to be a series on my YouTube channel where you can actually catch up with those resources, and then we're just going to do next steps. All right, now if we were doing live, of course you could ask questions throughout the presentation, but since this is not live, I encourage you to drop your questions in the comment section. I am very active in my comments in responding to people, so if you're watching and you have questions, please just drop them in the comments and I will get you an answer. So welcome and introduction. Who is Renata Jones? I have started over 10 businesses in the past. I am the current co-owner of a multi-million-dollar consulting business and independent pharmacy owner. I employ over 30 individuals throughout both of those organizations. I consider myself a YouTuber. Right now, sitting today, I have 320 subscribers, and I'm absolutely proud of every last one of them. And I know one day that number is going to be astronomical. I am a certified 10X business coach under Grant Cardone. I am a Medicare insurance agent. I offer digital courses around how to get into the managed care space, maybe how you want to be a Medicare insurance agent, as well as the course that I'm having for my business coaching. I offer an ebook, and the ebook right now is on how to be a Medicare insurance agent. I am a speaker. I speak at several conferences as it relates to Medicare and small business and entrepreneurship opportunities. I am a pharmacist. I graduated from the University of South Carolina in 2003. I got my MBA in healthcare administration several years after that from South University, and I am most recently a certified wealth educator. I am truly on a mission to help small business owners succeed with clarity, confidence, and actionable steps. I hope you use this to build more confidence, because I believe when you're clear on what your ask is and what you provide and what you bring to the market, that's going to make you confident, and then you're also going to get some actionable steps, okay? So let's go ahead and jump right in. This is just a sneak peek of the resources that I call Randy's resource roundup, and these are literally every single thing that I have either purchased, subscribed to, or used in my business, or either as a YouTuber. What I will tell you is I do not mind paying for someone else's expertise. If it doesn't bother me to pay $97 for a course, $47 for a course, I will get caught up in a funnel, y'all. Okay, and I remember this one time I started out, they said, did you want a list? Sure. Do you want a book? Sure. Do you want a course? It was like the never-ending funnel. But whatever I've used and whatever I've purchased, it may not have been the best course every single time, but I can promise you I got something out of each and every one of them. So we will go through some of these, the ones that I use most often, like Calendly, Canva, ChatGPT, Zoom, all of those type things you will hear me talk about, and we'll actually do some kind of work, especially in the business coaching classes, because a lot of these things on here will help make you more efficient. So let's start with the 10X mindset, and these are the rules of success. Change your attitude with your thoughts and your words. Any level of production will change your attitude. So you know how sometimes you're getting out of the bed, or say you've already been moving for the day, and you sit down on the couch and you're like, you know what, I just don't feel like it today. and you just have this attitude like, you know what, I'll just start over tomorrow, or maybe I'll take a nap. But whenever you get up and you actually do something and you start being productive, it changes your whole attitude. It's like when you go to the gym, half the battle is just getting to the gym. Once you get to the gym, it's not that bad for you to then just go ahead and say, okay, I'll go ahead and work out. And once you start working out, you notice your activity level and your energy level increases. So use your words to start thinking positively. Thoughts plus language plus action equals positive attitude. Your thoughts are going to dominate in whatever your language is going to be. And then the language and the things that you're telling yourself, that is then going to translate into some type of action, okay? So be mindful about the thoughts and the words that you use. And remember, when you just don't feel like it, do some type of productivity exercise or production exercise, and you'll notice that it'll just change your attitude. So it's activity time. I told you during the agenda that it was actually going to have some things for you to actually do some actual actionable steps. So how do you typically respond when somebody says, how are you doing today? How's your business doing? How was your weekend? What's been going on with you? Have you met anyone new or interesting lately? What's new in your life? And so during the live webinar, I have people put in the chat what kind of responses they would normally respond to this, okay? And oftentimes, if you're really honest, what you'll say is when somebody says, how are you doing today? You're like, oh, I'm okay. They say, how's your business doing? It's fine. Still, it's chugging right along. I know I said about my pharmacy, it pays for itself. How was your weekend? It was good. Didn't do much else than I normally do. I saw some friends and family. It was good. Everybody's fine. What's been going on with you? Nothing much. Ain't much new under the sun. Okay, so when you're answering these types of questions, be thinking about how you actually respond, because those thoughts, and which now generated into language, you're putting that out into the atmosphere, and it may not always be as positive as you actually think that it is. So when it says, how are you doing today? You say, okay. That's just a very nonchalant response. And it's just a response that a lot of us give. And sometimes we're not okay. We just go ahead and give the response just so we can answer the question and move on. So what I want you to do is I want you to be mindful when you're actually answering these questions for people. It helps to get you in a different mindset. So maybe after you start being intentional, when people say, how are you doing today? Girl, I'm doing great. I had a great night of sleep last night. I went to the gym this morning. I'm good. I'm excellent. How about you? And then you'll start to notice how it trickles down onto other people, and they're giving you better responses in return. Now, sometimes you're not going to be feeling good, you're not going to be up to it, and then you just genuinely respond that way. The more you learn, the more you earn. This is a mindset tip that would be very valuable for you to remember. You never ever stop learning. If you're the smartest person in your circle, I'm not going to tell you to leave your circle, but I am going to tell you to find another circle to where you're not the smartest one in that circle. So you can still hang over here in this circle where you're smarter than everybody else. But I also want you to find another circle that is challenging to you, okay? And sometimes as an entrepreneur, it's hard if your friends are also not on the entrepreneurial journey, okay? So they may be working 9-to-5 jobs, and their experiences in life are going to be different than yours. They're not going to understand some of the things that you have to go through with. In that case, you do not ditch your friends, okay? You still hang with your friends, you still have a good time with your friends, but you still need to be in an area where somebody is challenging you, okay? As for me, I go to GrowthCon, all right? So this is Grant Cardone's big leadership event that he does in Vegas this year. This is actually the last one. I go to TD Jakes Leadership Summit. So I go to other things that challenge me that I can actually learn and grow from. So you study and learn from successful people. I tell folks all the time, I just hired a trainer and she's ripped up, okay? And I tell people, I am not going to work out and hire a trainer that's fat and out of shape. That's what I'm trying not to be. So why would I hire somebody who does not look like what I aspire to be, who has not accomplished what I am trying to accomplish, okay? So no more than I'm going to work out with a fat trainer is no different than me trying to learn from somebody who hasn't made multi-millions, who hasn't run a multi-million-dollar company, who hasn't been able to be a philanthropist because they have so much money. I'm not going to pay and look for certain things from a coach or from resources or books from people who haven't achieved what I actually desired. Okay. And so that's one of the reasons why me with this business coaching business, if somebody comes to me and say, you know what, I already do $10 million a year, how can you get me to 20? Well, what I can say is leveraging the 10x sales and marketing, that strategy has proven to double people's sales and to increase sales. But I can't tell them personally that I've ever done that for myself. I have not ran a $10 million company, okay? So I haven't grown my own company to 10 million. What I can do is tell you how to get your company to 3 million because I've done that before. I can tell you how to get your business started because I've done that before, okay? So just know who you're actually studying and learning from. Be committed to personal growth. If you're the same person you are today that you were last year and the year before that, and you have not grown anywhere, then that's a problem, okay? And some people say, well, I hadn't grown. I hadn't really digressed either. If you haven't grown and made any positive moves, then you've pretty much made negative moves, okay? So just be committed to personal growth. This is me in California reading Sarah Jakes Roberts' books, Power Moves, okay? So try and be reading. I don't read as much as I would like to. I bought a bunch of books that I thought I was going to read. I'm still reading Sam Walton's Made in America. I swear I only got like 40 pages, but it's been the longest book, but it's been a great book. Okay. And then improve your communication skills. Improving your communication skills is super, super important. Me having a YouTube channel has absolutely caused me to have better communication skills. Warren Buffett says, why should you improve your communication skills? He says, if you improve your communication skills, I guarantee you that you will earn 50% more money over your lifetime. That is an insane thing to say, okay? That's telling you that right now you can increase your net worth about 50% more over your entire lifetime if you do this one thing, which is to get better at communicating, okay? So if you're trying to get better and do professional and personal growth, one place that you can start is to hone in on your communication skills. You are responsible for the outcome. Now, when Grant went over this in the coaching, it was interesting, okay, and it was different, all right, especially some of the examples that he used. So basically, when you're saying you're responsible for the outcome, both positive and negative, so instead of saying and blaming somebody else for what happened, you take ownership of it yourself. Here's an example. So a couple of weeks ago, I was supposed to be at the State House, and I was supposed to be giving testimony to help out with the something that's going on with the pharmacy profession. And I hit snooze too many times, and I got there late. That was not anybody's fault but my own. And then when I got there, I was at the wrong building. I could have said, well, shoot, they should have pointed out that we're not at the State House where we were last time, that we were at the building around the corner. I could have got mad with everybody who was in front of me for traffic and said, man, why don't you get out of the way? I could have did all those things, but at the end of the day, it was my fault, okay? I'm responsible for the outcome. Another good example would be you're getting ready to get on the airplane and all of a sudden the flight gets canceled. And you're like, well, Renata, that's not my fault. If it's not your fault and you're not going to be responsible for that outcome, what's it doing you any good to blame the airline, to blame the air flight attendant, to blame the people that's working on the plane? It's not going to help you at all. And that's because you can't change the person. You can't change the outcome. You can't change what just happened, okay? So blaming somebody else is not going to help you out at all. But if you accept responsibility for that outcome, then you're taking ownership of the outcome, and then guess what? Now you can actually do something about it. So yes, my flight got canceled. What can I do about that? Can I go find me another flight? Can I fly through another area? What can I do? Can I rent a car to get to another airport? What can I do in order to get home? And in this same thing, I don't know if it was during the same module or not, but he talked about always moving forward. And it might be one of these slides, I don't know. But he talked about always moving forward. And I used this literally in an airport one time. I was trying to get back from the West Coast to the East Coast, and my flight got delayed, okay? And I could have gotten home like the next day, but Grant talks about same thing happened to him. He was trying to get home from, I think, Canada, and it was the flight got canceled and said he'd be home like 2 or 3 days later. But the whole point is, as long as you keep moving forward, you'll eventually get to your destination. Be responsible for the outcome, no matter whether the outcome is both positive or whether it's negative. You can change yourself anytime, but hardly can you change somebody else, okay? You can't control somebody else. That's why you want to take responsibility of the outcome. And it also keeps you from being the victim. And who wants to be the victim? Okay. You have no power when you are the victim. All right. And it just puts you out of control of what you can actually do. So accept responsibility for the outcome, because you can't change other people. The only thing you can control is what you can control, which is yourself. So it is on here. Keep moving forward. So this is what I alluded to in the last segment, and it's intent over method. Okay. So it's basically I'm intending to get somewhere. As long as I continue to move forward, whatever that method is to get me to that desired goal, let it be. Okay. So like to the example of the flight, if I have to take a rental car in order to get to another airport, in order to get to a better flight to get back home, then you do that. So the method was the plane and the car, but the intent is to get home. And it basically, I tell people all the time, you just gotta take one foot and put it in front of the other. Okay. Some days it's gonna be like that. You take one foot, you put it in front of the other, and you move forward. Move toward the cause and the goal, and turn it into a game if you have to, but just keep going. I really hope y'all are enjoying this. So let's talk about prosperity attitude. What are you focusing on? If you focus on prosperity, then you're going to attract prosperity. If you focus on hard work, you're going to get hard work. Okay. So make sure that you're fixing your mind on things that are appealing and prosperous, not things that are hard work and things that are difficult. Okay. Don't think about how difficult this is going to be, how much hard work it's going to be. How long is it going to take me to reach 1,000 followers on YouTube? How long is it going to take for me to reach the first $1 million in my business? How long is it going to take me to get to $10 million in my business? It's going to take me so much ad revenue. It's going to take me so many times where I got to call people, and I need so many leads. If you focus on those things, that's what you'll get. You'll get the negativity behind the hard work, the negativity behind how long it's going to take. When what you should be focusing on is prosperity. Have a prosperity attitude. Okay. And how can you do this? Well, you start thinking of money, wealth, and abundance as they're everywhere. And this is something I created in ChatGPT. And I just told it to give me something that just shows wealth everywhere. And if you're outside and you're seeing houses, you're seeing cars, you're seeing people with nice clothes on, you're seeing people with clothes on, period. Okay? All those things is showing there's money, wealth, and abundance. It is everywhere. Those are the things that you're dwelling on, because that's the kind of thing that you want to attract, especially if you're an entrepreneur. I was doing a career expo this past week for some pharmacy students, and one of the young ladies, she says she hates thinking about money. She says, I just absolutely hate it. She says, what advice would I give her when it comes to talking about money? And I said, well, think about it this way. Pharmacists love to take care of patients. We want to make sure we're doing the right thing for our community. However, if you don't have any money to keep your pharmacy open and now you have to close, then guess what? You're no longer doing a good service for your community or a good service for the patients, because you don't have any money to keep your doors open. So if you can look at money, if money scares you because you don't want money to cloud your judgment, you don't want to get into the greed state, you want to make sure that money's not turning you into something that you're not supposed to be, think of it as a resource. And think of it as, if you don't have enough of it, then you can't continue to do what you want to do. Some folks say, I only want enough money to take care of my family. That's selfish. Okay. If God put you here in the midst of a full community, and you're part of a church, or you're part of an organization, you're part of a community, your kids go to school, but you only got enough to take care of your family, but you have the potential to have so much more. Like, why wouldn't you want to have more so that you can share it? Even if you earned it and you gave it all away, wouldn't that be better than sitting on and saying, I only want just enough? So start thinking about money, wealth, and abundance, because it's absolutely everywhere. If somebody's telling you there's a shortage of money, you need to just turn around and pivot and say, nice talking to you, see you later. And then consistency, starting with the small things, like waking up each time, every morning at the same time. I am struggling with that one, okay? And it's because I don't go to bed at a consistent time at night. Okay, so I'm on this journey with you. Go to the gym the same time every day. Post on social media daily about your business. Build consistency. Build these habits. Consistency builds discipline, and disciplined actions will always lead to success. The gym is the best way to look at this analogy. If you consistently go to the gym and you consistently eat right with it, you're going to build discipline, and then that discipline is going to lead to success. There's no way you can eat right and you can go to the gym and do the workouts that you're supposed to do and not end up in the shape. It's virtually impossible. Okay. Get your story and then tell it over and over and over and over again. And we'll talk about that more in the social media strategy part. and avoid random outcomes by being consistent. So it's just trying to build up this consistency, and therefore you avoid some of these random outcomes. And so an activity, what is one thing starting tomorrow that you're going to be more consistent with? Every single time I pick either going to the gym at the same time or waking up at the same time each morning, and I'm still struggling to get there. So I encourage you to think of one thing that you want to start tomorrow on being more consistent with. And then this is the 10X mindset. If you do not have this book yet, I encourage you to do so. The first one is the 10X rule, and just talks about how much effort it takes to accomplish something is way more than what you actually think. And that's the 10X part of it. And then the millionaire booklet, how to get super rich. I love this little booklet. You can literally read it in less than an hour. It's on Amazon. I would encourage you to get the millionaire booklet and the 10X rule. And then shift from an I can't mentality to a how can I mentality. And if you are an entrepreneur and a small business owner, you probably already have that, because most successful entrepreneurs don't live in an I can't mentality. They're always thinking about how can I do something, okay? And here's our part 1 homework. So I want you to be mindful of how you answer questions when people ask you things like, how are you doing today? I want you to write down your story that relates to your business in some way and repeat it over and over and over again. I want you to make a journal entry answering this question. What would your dream business look like if nothing could hold you back? And I want you to set a 10X goal. I want you to say, oh, well, if I could have my dream business, it would be to replace the salary I currently have with my job. No, that's not big enough. Okay, I want you to set a really huge goal of what you would want here, and as a journal entry, what would your dream business look like if nothing could hold you back? And which of the rules of success will you work on, and why, and how do you plan to do it? So those rules of success that we went over, like thinking a positive, always moving forward, you take responsibility for the outcome. Out of all of those rules of success, which ones would you need to work on, and why, and how do you plan to do it? Okay, let's go on to building a strong foundation, gaining clarity to create an offer and actionable goals. So I am not going to go through a lot on this because this is how you should actually set your business up the correct way. I have YouTube videos on this. Even during the live, I did not go into in depth on here. I also gave a video from Carlton Dennis, who's also on YouTube, that has a great explanation of the differences between all of these and when you should go from a sole proprietor to an LLC, when you should go from an LLC to electing an S-corp status. All of that is there. What I will tell you is my businesses are set up as with S-corp status. My current company, the consulting business, is originally set up as a corporation. It was set up as an S corporation. My business coaching business and my businesses in the past have been an LLC with S corp status. The only time I had it left as an LLC without S corp status is when it was what we call more passive income. So that would be like rental income. So whenever I was doing real estate, the business that we held our rental properties in, that money was in a regular LLC, but the more active income when we're actually flipping, that was in a LLC with S-corp status. And so with S-corp, I pay myself as an employee, so I get W-2s. So whenever I'm getting ready to apply for anything, I don't check that I'm self-employed. I check that I'm an employee, and I actually pay myself, and I get W-2s just like my employees do. 1099s is what you would get if you're an independent contractor. And then these are just some other forms on here. The 2553, which is what you set up to get S-corp status, the W4, K1s, all that kind of stuff. I'm not getting into all of that, but what I want you to know is just check out the resources that I have in the description so you'll know when you should set up your LLC, S-corp. I even have videos on how to set up your LLC, how to get your EIN number, which you're going to need both of those before you can get a business bank account. I had one business set up as a partnership, and that didn't last long. I don't even know what the benefit of setting it up as a partnership was. That's what the accountant told us to do, so that's how we did it. But I don't really know what the benefits of it was. This is not my strong suit. All I can tell you is how I have my current businesses set up. And Carlton Dennis, again, has some great videos that I'll link below so that you can actually look at those to see when you should go from an LLC to an LLC with an S-corp status, because it's important. Because what happens is you start saving money on the taxes that you actually have to pay, and there's a certain amount that once you start making, you want to move over to S-corp status. Also, on a S-corp status, not only do we get employee income like W-2s, but we also get distributions, and that's also a benefit of S-corp that you really don't get with the LLC. All right, so now let's talk about our target audience, and this is one of my favorite parts, because you have to know who your target audience is. You have to have clarity on who you are selling to. How else are you going to develop your marketing and your sales strategy if you have no clue who you are selling to? And so know your SAM, and SAM comes from one of those bullet points that you saw on Randy's Resource Roundup. I get it from Jade Beeson. She is a YouTuber, and she does all things social media to help small businesses such as myself and other content creators build out their YouTube channel and marketing strategies. And she calls the person SAM. All right, so SAM is basically, who is your ideal customer? What problems do they have? What is your niche solution? So what solution do you bring to the market and that could actually solve the problem that your SAM has? Where are they located? Not necessarily geographically, because that's important. So if you only have a product or service that you're selling in a particular geographical area, then absolutely, where are they located? That's where you would put. But also meaning, where are they located? Where do they hang out? Okay, where do they visit? What are some of the networking events that they're at? So that's what you want to start thinking about when you're talking about where they're located. And then what are their demographics? So do the people that purchase your products and services, are they in a certain age range? Are they male or female? Are they in a certain industry? Do they have certain job titles? What are their demographics is what you want to come up with. If you have not downloaded my free business planner, I would encourage you to do so. The link is going to be in the description. When you download that business planner, there is a sheet in there that talks about target audience. It has this all laid out for you, and you can just fill it in and answer. So therefore, that will be the activity, is take a moment and jot down answers to the questions above. So you want to know what their problems and pain points is. That is very important, because that's how your niche solution is going to come in so that you can actually sell and get revenue. Now, I pulled these slides directly from the coaching materials that I have access to as a certified 10X business coach. So you can see it's got slide numbers at the bottom. That is, we're not on slide 41. And you can see that it's coming directly from it, and it has the Cardone training copyright in the bottom. And this is because I got this directly from them. These are the coaching resources that they allow us to be able to use as we're out here as certified business coaches. And so this is just another way of asking, who is your perfect customer? All right. How many customer personas do you have? A persona is, so I'm a pharmacist and I'm doing business coaching. I have a persona developed for my perfect customer, and I call it my medical persona. And it's so any medical professional that will need a business coach. So I would fill out, what are their demographics? What are their titles? Where are they located? What are their pain points? And I would make that into one of my persona. Okay. And then, so that would be my medical one. And then I may have one that is totally just all other entrepreneurs. Okay. And so whatever the case may be with your products and services, you want to build out the different customer personas using that target audience sheet, so you'll know for what persona you're actually working with whenever you're developing your sales and marketing activities. What are they interested in again? Where are they located? What else are they buying? What problems are they having? All of these questions are the same things that you just saw on the previous slide. It's just that it's now coming from Grant Cardone technology. So I wanted you to be able to see that part. Creating an offer, okay? So whenever you create an offer, what would make someone say yes to your product or service, okay? How do you price your products and services, and what value do you bring? These are the three things that you are looking to answer whenever you are creating an offer. When I created the offer for my business coaching, I wanted to know, why would somebody want to work with me as a business coach, okay? And then I said, well, how am I going to price it? You know, do I want membership levels? Do I want one-time pricing? How do I price it? And then what value am I bringing to the table to actually be able to price these products at those said services? So sales and marketing funnels, I'm not going to do this live demonstration. I'll have that as a separate video, but I want you to know that I use ClickFunnels a lot. And the very first step that I do is I create a freebie. Okay. And the freebie is there for you to have a lead magnet. Okay. So let's talk about my Medicare agent funnel. And so what happens is, in this particular funnel, I am giving away for free all the licensing requirements per state in order for somebody to become a Medicare insurance agent. That is absolutely free. Okay. So they can download it. It has the website. They can go to the website. They can give everything they need to know on how to be an agent. It even has how much the cost for the fingerprints, cost for the license exam, all that stuff's in there. Okay, that's free. All they got to do is give me their email address, and I'm giving them that download for free as soon as they give me their email address. That is my lead magnet. That is the freebie. That is the top of the funnel. Okay, so all those people that come in that just downloaded that's the top of my funnel. And they've given me their email address. From there, I then start sending them out emails asking them, are they interested in my ebook? So my ebook right now is only, I think, $7. Normally it's like $17. But because we're off season for Medicare, I lowered the price of it. Okay. And then when they buy the ebook, I may say, hey, do you sure you want the ebook, or do you want to just go ahead and get the course, this mini course that goes with it? Now, for my Medicare agent class, I tell folks you absolutely do not have to purchase my course and ebook, because everything that you need to know is on my YouTube channel for free, and it's also in that free download. However, I have had people to purchase the ebook and the course, the bundle, because they got so much value out of what I had on YouTube. They wanted to show their appreciation, or they wanted to just know more information. So because I'm a Medicare expert, and I sell, they're able to get that course and see more insights onto how I actually run my Medicare agent business. Step 2, again, is to have either multiple products or services or tiered packages like what I just described. And then you always want to have like a low, medium, and high ticket price item, okay? So you can start out with low, maybe it's $7, a medium, maybe it's $47, and then your high ticket items, maybe it's a actual coaching or a course that may be $97, $197, whatever the case may be. For my particular business coaching business, you'll see in a minute what my low, medium, and high ticket options are. And you think of these also is a do-it-yourself is the low ticket option. A do it together is your medium ticket option. Done for me would be your high ticket option. If you think back to the PDF download that I'm giving them for the Medicare agent, here's all the links. You got to go click them, you got to read them, and it tells you what you have to do. That is my do-it-yourself low ticket option. It's free. And then do it together is you can get my ebook. And then the ebook is going to go into details into all those things that you just clicked. And then a done for you is literally the mini course that's showing you once again what all you need to do to be a Medicare agent and guiding you through each and every step, and also showing you how I do it. And then I host live webinars during annual enrollment period to show and talk about how I prepare for the next year, how my selling is going, etc. What converts better, $100, $99, or $97, and does it matter? This is known as charm, pricing, and left digit bias. So whenever you price your products, try to have your products end in 7, not 9 or 100, okay? And studies have shown that at $97, people are more likely to purchase your product because they round down. They don't see it as $100 when you say it's $97. They see it more around the $90 range. Okay, so whenever you're doing these and you see all these courses, they have $7, $47, $97. This is why. It's called charm prices or left digit bias. So speaking of offers, check this out. Here is the offer for my business coaching. So if you have stuck around this long and you have gotten here, hopefully you want to partake in actual coaching services. So option 1, think of this as my low ticket option. It's $97 per month and you get access to the masterclass only. So I'm doing 2 masterclasses per month, and I'm also doing 1 bonus session monthly. When I originally came up with this idea, I was going to do 1 masterclass and on a Saturday, and then I was going to repeat it during the week live, and that was all you're going to get, plus a bonus session that was going to be around mindset. Well, remember the slide that we talked about bringing value. You want to make sure you're bringing value. Now, would that have been valuable enough? Probably, but it's always better for you to over deliver and under promise than it is for you to over promise and under deliver. So therefore, I changed this up. I'm doing 2 master classes per month that are going to be totally different from one another. They're building upon one another, and then 1 bonus session monthly that's always going to be around mindset. For the $97 per month, you get access to on-demand replays and access to community. So I have set up in a stand store where you have community, and there's also a course. So it's set up like a course. It has some of my YouTube videos on there for how to create your company, your LLC, your EIN if you need all that stuff. Other things that I have on there that's relevant to entrepreneurship, as well as this is where I park the replays of all the master classes, and you also get access to the community. Now, remember, that is the low ticket option. That is the do-it-yourself model. Option 2 is now going to be our medium tier level, okay? And at the medium tier level, remember that is let's do it together type model. So in this one, it's $197 per month, and you get the master class, so everything in option 1. So you'll get the 2 master classes and the bonus session, but you also get 1 hour of coaching, okay? And this coaching is one-on-one, and you get that once per month, all right? I would say about 6 months is what it's going to take for you to be in the course. Now, I'm hoping some people stay around for the whole 12 months. Quite frankly, I'm hoping some people never leave at all, because it's so much value that they're getting, and it's so much accountability that they're getting, that they actually stay in forever. And then, so remember, that is the done together or the medium ticket option. And then option 3 is a commitment, a 6-month commitment for one price of $997. It's going to include all the master classes, all the replays, access to community, but you're going to get 2 hours of coaching per month. So the way I would hope it would be is 1 hour every 2 weeks. And that's what you're going to get for that option. Now, this is going to be more of the done for you model, and that's because you're getting extra coaching with it. You're also committing to 6 months, so you already have that set up, versus option 2 and 1, you can leave and bail anytime you want. Also under option 3, it's also, if you notice, if people stayed in option 2 6 months like I would recommend, it's going to be about $1,200. But if they choose option 3 and pay for it all up front, they save about $200 by making that commitment up front. So this is serving twofold. One, to introduce you to the pricing options for my coaching classes and hope that you join. But it's also there to show you an example of how we just talked about how to build out these pricing packages, and you can actually see it in production. So everything's ended in 7 because of the charm bias, remember. And then I also have 3 tiers, a low, medium, and high ticket option. And then my freebie for this one right here is the actual business coaching planner. So if you've already downloaded, that was my lead magnet. You gave me your email address for it. So now I would send you emails with valuable information, but it also will be emails encouraging you to purchase one of these options. So your part 2 homework is I want you to watch the recommended YouTube videos to help assist with your company setup if you need them. If you already got your LLC set up and your EIN, you don't need to watch those. But if you are somebody here and you're literally trying to figure out how to start, then I want you to watch those videos, so that tells you exactly how you start. And then I want you to create a 30-second pitch that you can recite freely about who you are or what you do. Again, this is just to get you into the rhythm of telling your story over and over and over again, so you can be consistent with that message. Then you're going to decide on a freebie or a value proposition for your funnel. So you want a lead magnet, okay? What are you going to give away for free, and that's of value, so that somebody feels comfortable giving you their email. And then I want you to create your low, medium, and high ticket price offering for the services or products that you have. Okay, introduction to 10x marketing and sales. I want you to remember this quote. I got it from Grant. Marketing is senior to sales, and that should make absolute sense. Marketing is senior to sales, because guess what? You can't sell what nobody knows you have. And marketing is all about getting you out in front of people, letting people know what you have to offer and what you are selling. Okay, so it's always going to be senior to sales. If you do not have a good marketing, you're not going to have good sales, unless you're one of those people who have built up a small core of people in your client base, and they're providing you word of mouth. So you're going to get some sales from that, but you're not going to reach full potential because you don't have your full marketing strategy out there. Other folks don't know about you, so that's why marketing is senior to sales. All right, simplifying the business cycle. So this is great, because this past Saturday in the business coaching, we did getting clarity on your target audience. So we spent about 90 minutes on our first master class for the paid students on everything about your target audience. This Thursday, we're diving into the part 1 of this business cycle. And the business cycle starts with marketing and advertising. Again, marketing is senior to sales. It does not matter about the sales part if you can't get the marketing part right, because you're not going to have anybody to deliver the sales strategy to, because you didn't do your proper marketing and advertising. Then how do we generate leads and prospects? And then from there, it's the sales cycle, and then you just repeat it all over again. People do business with people they know, okay? But I also like to add to this, because I like to say people do business with people they know, with people they like, and with people they trust, okay? And so when we're developing our marketing and advertising strategy, how can we do it to make sure that the people that we're attracting, the people that we want to do business with us, that they know us, that they trust us, and that they like doing business with us, okay? So that is what you're actually trying to build out in your messaging. Business cycles truths. The business cycle is senior to sales. Okay, so we just talked about that. Number of leads determine the number of sales. Again, if you want to have 10 sales, but you only have 12 people that you have email addresses for and leads, it's going to be very hard to convert 10 out of the 12 into sales. So the more people you have, the more leads that you have, the more prospects that you have, then that's going to help you determine your sales. Commit to the top of your funnel. What that means is you always should be putting people into the top of the funnel. So more people should be getting your lead magnet. More people should be coming into your sales cycle. In order for them to do that, you've got to continue to do the marketing. I am guilty of this, because I run several businesses and I am committed to getting my business coaching business off the ground this year. However, in doing so, I have not done the proper marketing. So I cannot be upset at the students that I have not received because I have not put in the marketing work to actually get it done. Okay, so again, it goes back to mindset. I am taking ownership of that. I am the one who has not been marketing the way that I'm supposed to. So I can't think that I'm going to have the 15 students that I would like on a routine basis if I have not committed to the top of my funnel. Okay, because I'm not adding any new leads and prospects to it. So if I'm not doing that, how do I expect to actually have more sales? And money follows attention. Okay, so money gets bored. So you want to make sure that you are providing attention by doing your marketing, doing your sales strategies and your advertising strategies so that you can actually generate income. And then Grant says, biggest mistake he made in business was not spending more on getting known. And that's meaning he thinks that one of his biggest mistakes was he didn't do more advertising. He didn't do more branding in the beginning. And that was one of his biggest mistakes. I agree. And I also agree with another one of his, which is he stayed small too long. And I feel the same way. It's just meaning you waited too long to actually hire somebody and get help. And here we go. Biggest mistakes we've made in business. So one, stayed small for too long. I can certainly resonate with that one. Didn't understand the brand. That is very, very important. If you're building a brand, my brand is built around customer service. Okay. Whatever I do, I'm always making sure that it is done with excellent customer service, that I am providing value, that I am meeting the needs of the client, I'm meeting the needs of the customer. I am building true partnerships and relationships. That is what my brand is all about. Okay. So you've got to understand that. He ignored social media for too long, did not invest to learn social media and marketing, operated with the wrong technology. My 5P framework talks about not having the right platform, okay? So that's another video. It's already on YouTube. It'll be linked below. You can go and check it out. Hired the wrong people. So not only did you stay small for too long, which I did do that, it took me a minute to hire somebody, but also you hired the wrong people. Everybody's had some bad hires, okay? And that could really set you back. Did not invest all his money in promotion and brand. But from my perspective, what I can say is not investing enough in order to make sure that I am known in the market so that I can actually get those leads and prospects that I need to then generate sales. And then he said he should have brought some connections and collaborated in order to expand his reach. So those were the top 8 mistakes that he made. Obscurity is the number one killer of business. And I agree with him 100% on that. Not being known will really set you back. And so you've got to be able to do that. I'm going to skip over this. This is just really the break points, and it's just talking about scaling your business and what goes wrong at each level. So at the 3 million to 8 million mark, which is where I'm at, it's the who that will mess up your business, and that's process creation. And I can absolutely attest to that, because when you're in the startup phase, you're so busy trying to get started, you're so busy trying to nail your clients that you may not have already written down all the processes that you need. So therefore, when it's time to replicate said processes, you're having trouble because you didn't do it in the startup phase. And now what you're having to do is to create those processes, those procedures, those SOPs, and so that you can actually replicate them. Okay, so that is 100% true in here. And this just shows you what those breakpoints actually look like as you generate more and more income. Most important things you need to win. And these right here, these are straight from the 10X coaching dialed in offers. Again, some of you want to have websites, and I have a website for my consulting business, and nobody ever goes to it. I never push it. It's just out there for somebody to be able to go, and if they wanted to look at it and say, hey, what all does this company do? Then that's what my website's for. But your dialed in offers are things that you create landing pages for. So you can say, for my Medicare agent business, I know exactly what I want people to do when they hit that landing page. I want them to download the freebie, give me their email address in exchange, and then I want to offer them my ebook and my course. Okay, so that's a dialed in offer. They don't go to my agent page and see 15 different things on there that they can do. It's dialed in on what I want them to do. Same here. If you've already stopped this video and you went to go and download the business planner, I know what I want you to do on there. I want you to go in. I want you to give me your email address. I am going to give you the business planner, and then I'm going to show you the tiers and the offerings that I have. That's a dialed in offer. CRM, which is a client or customer relationship management tool, you need to find a way to keep up with all your leads and your prospects. There's a lot of great tools out there that can do that, even if you have to just use Excel. Social media plan, you got to have those. We will talk about that at the end when we talk about social media strategy. You have to have an email strategy. And today, there's so many automations out here. If you're using the right platform and the right software, you don't have to sit there and take all of your email list and build these emails to send out to these folks. You can literally have it automated. You can even automate your responses on social media. You know how you have those folks that say, hey, if you're interested, drop book in the comments, and then immediately you get a DM with the book link. That's all automated using ManyChat. Evergreen lead strategy. And so evergreen lead strategy is exactly what I'm doing right now. Okay. This webinar is a lead strategy. It is something that is going to be searchable on YouTube. It is something that I can put as a webinar and actually have people exchange their email in order to get access to the webinar. All of those things are going to lead this to be evergreen, because as much as I put this out and people exchange their email address for me, then I'm able to then target those folks in emails and offer the rest of my services. Okay. So evergreen just means something that is not dated, that can be used over and over again. And then automations we talked about, and of course AI to get you there faster. The sales process. So after we've mastered marketing and advertising, then we go into the sales process. I am not going to go into a whole lot of this because I really think, even when I did this live, I think so far there's been so much information that people get lost, burned out, and tired. The good thing about this is you can actually pause the video, come back weeks later and pick up here after you've nailed the marketing piece of it. But I do want to talk about the sales process and the sales cycle, because if you're doing that effective marketing, I don't want you to be out there and not now have some kind of insight on how the actual sales process should go. So hopefully you've got a bunch of leads and prospects, and now they're scheduling appointments with you, or they're purchasing your services, and you need to know how to do the sales process. So there's the greeting, the qualifying, the present, the offer, propose, close, and follow up. So those are the 6 steps in the sales process. You should be able to advertise your sales process. I thought this was a profound statement, and it made sense. Okay, so if you can figure out what your sales process is, what it looks like, you can use that to build social media content from it, and also use that to advertise. Okay, so if you got the right sales process, you can then turn that into social media pieces that you can use to actually advertise what you offer. So what I want you to do is list out your sales opportunities. Where can you actually find sales? Okay, so incoming calls, outbound calls, customers that you've already sold to, unsold customers. They gave you their email address, they downloaded your freebie, but they never purchased anything. Referrals, okay, that's where I get all my business from my Medicare clients. Okay, I help somebody and they go out and tell somebody else, and then they come on board. Outbound visits. Do you need to go and visit some businesses or some companies? Inbound visits. Do you have a brick and mortar where people actually coming to you, or maybe they're coming to your website? E-commerce, social media inbound, social media outbound, service calls, complaints is a very good one. Okay, what are people complaining about? Email campaigns, and then your competition's clients. So this is a good one. If you have a service and a product and you know who your competitors are, who are their clients? Because if they're buying from them, then they could also buy from you, since you have the same product. Okay, but is your product better? That goes back to what we talked about earlier, is what would make somebody want to buy from you versus from somebody else. Sales truths that will never fail you. Make your sales process transparent, okay? This is so important to me. And I'm going to tell you, I cannot stand when I go to buy something and it is not transparent. I also don't like things that don't have it where I can just go ahead and purchase. I was getting ready to purchased something for two of my employees. It was a high ticket item. It was over $10,000 item, and the person wanted to interview the people that for the service. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. Like, if I'm willing to give you $10,000 for somebody to take a training you have, why do you need to interview them to make sure that they are fit for your program? Now, I get it. You might want to be selective with who you have, but at some point, you need to be able to vet whoever that is by who's coming to you. Okay, so I thought I had enough credibility to know that I wasn't sending you any old body, and that you should just go ahead and accept my money without having to go through all these hurdles. Some people may need all of that, some people may not, but I absolutely agree with this one. Make your sales process transparent. It should not be difficult for somebody to give you their money. Make clear your intention. So when we started this webinar, I absolutely let you know what my intentions were. It was to provide you value, but with the hope that you will actually come into my community as a paid student. Okay, so make clear your intention. People don't like when you're doing business with them and you're talking to them and you're saying different things, and then at the end you hook them with, how would you like to buy this? The people don't want to feel that way. Okay, so make clear what your intentions are. Qualify with hard questions. So you won't know why somebody is not purchasing if you're not asking the hard questions, and don't be afraid to ask those hard questions. So it may be the person may say, well, you know what, I don't really have time to do this right now, or I need my spouse with me in order to make those decisions. And so then you just ask the hard questions. Really, can you really afford this product? And they may snap back at you, but you won't know unless you're asking those hard questions. Okay. You could never blow a sale. If you have that mentality that you will never ever blow a sale, it goes back to that mindset mentality, then it's just going to help you be more confident when you're actually in the sales process. Always agree with the buyer. I always like this one and this piece of recommendation, because how can you reach agreement if you're in disagreement? I want you to purchase something from me, but I'm going back and forth with you, telling you why you're wrong. You're telling me you don't see value in my business coaching, and why am I going to come back to you and say, well, I don't understand why you don't see value in my business coaching. Your business ain't making X, Y, and Z. No, that person will never get to agreement with you and purchase your services if you're not agreeing with them. Now, you're not saying that it's true, because if you say, well, I really don't see any value in having a business coach, I'm not agreeing that a business coach does not have value, but I am not going to disagree with you. So my rebuttal to that may be, well, I see that you say that there's no value in having a business coach. Let me ask you this. What would it mean for you to have somebody who could actually help hold you accountable for some of the decisions and the actions that you need to make? So basically, just by reiterating the statement that they said shows agreement, even though I don't necessarily agree with it, but just saying it back to that person tells that person that you are agreeing with them when you may not be. And then you can move on in the conversation by asking other questions in order to get to the root cause. Buyer makes a decision before you do, okay? And so that's me all day. And once we get into the sales cycle, there's certain parts of it, and I'm the type, I already know what I want to do before I get to most places. If I'm there, I'm usually just trying to ask some clarifying questions to make sure that your product or service is right for me. But if you keep going on and on and on after I already decided that I wanted to sell, but you haven't actually given me the opportunity to say, yes, I want to buy it, then I'm just going to get frustrated, okay? And I probably cut you off and still buy it, or I may not, or you may just talk yourself out of the sale. So the buyer makes a decision before you do. Show proposal to every single customer. So this is just basically saying, show it to everybody. Show your offers to everybody. They can only say yes or no, but show the proposal to every customer. You can't expect somebody to purchase if they don't even know what you're selling. Always use third-party touch, and that he goes over that more in the cycle. That's more as if you are working in a place that actually had like a manager that you could call over to reiterate what you said, that kind of thing. Where I'm at, I don't have that, so I can't really use 8. 9, price is a myth. So people are not, when people say I don't, it costs too much or whatever, it's not really the price, it's usually the value. So people are going to pay for what they actually value. This just goes back to whenever we're looking at who we can actually sell to, that we sell to people that we've already sold to in the past. Okay, so the second sale is easier than the first. Mistakes made in qualifying. So this qualifying part is just qualifying the buyer. And basically you're not asking quality questions. So you really want to ask questions to get to the root cause of why this person may or may not do business with you. Not getting real answers. So you're okay with getting shallow answers like yes, no answers versus really getting some open-ended questions and answers going. Not asking questions that are relevant. Okay. Ask questions that are relevant to what you're actually selling. Ask bad questions, not listening, not digging. Why is that important? Not finding out what the person actually values and never discovering how they make decisions. Okay. So all of these things are questions that you need to ask when you're trying to qualify a buyer and then decide what product to put them on. So if we looked at my business coaching example with the 3 tiers, if we looked at that and I have somebody who's coming to me and they said, you know what, Renata, I'm a small business owner. I've been in business for about 2 years, but I just can't seem to get the clients that I want. I don't know what I am doing wrong. But I just don't know what I'm doing wrong. So I may ask them, what type of business are you in? Okay. That's a relevant question. I may ask them, how much revenue are you doing? How much would you like to get to? How many people are on your team? So I'm asking all of these questions because I'm trying to figure out how committed they are to their business. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, well, do you have any partners? Does your spouse have anything to do with your business? Do y'all run it together? So I'm trying to figure out who's helping them make the decisions. Whenever you have to purchase something for your organization, or when was the last time you made a major purchase for your business? What did that look like? Because now what's happening is I can tell he or she said, I just bought a new computer and I looked online and it took me about 3 weeks for me to figure out which one I wanted and where I was going to buy it from. I know that person's a detail oriented. They have to go through and vet things before they actually get it. So I may put them on a certain product just because I know how they're making decisions. But you do all of that to qualify that person so that you can present them with the offer and the tier that is best for them. Present an offer to every buyer every time in every situation. There's no exceptions. Okay. And then he says this simple discipline will increase your business by at least 20%. And then these are just mistakes when making a proposal. First mistake is you don't even offer a proposal. Over qualifying the buyer's financial ability. I call this don't count people's pockets. Okay, don't be in here trying to count people's pockets and try and figure out what they can and cannot afford. If you ask the right questions, you'll know what product to put them on. Waiting for ideal situations. It's probably not going to be a light bulb glowing moment that says, hey, now's the time to give this person the proposal. Requiring a customer to commit first. Okay, so don't necessarily think that they have to commit to working with you before you actually make them a proposal. Worried about closing ratio. Okay, so don't worry about I've made 10 proposals today and I've only got 1 accepted. Who cares? Just always keep making the proposals. Unwilling to invest the time, so the time that's needed to answer and ask these hard questions to qualify this person to present the proposals. You're afraid of rejection and failure, afraid of negotiating, fear losing the customer to competition. Get all of that out of your mindset because those are just mistakes whenever you're making the proposal and keeping you from making the proposal. These are just some reasons that he has noted that closers fail. Number 1, they never attempted to close. Pressure perceived as a bad thing. Now, Grant gets a little pushy. I'm not that pushy. And I've purchased some of this stuff and they got a great sales team. And so they do not see pressure as perceived as a bad thing at all. And I like their mentality in saying they feel that their product is so superior and so great that it is their absolute duty to make sure that you buy their services and their products. And if you don't, then they feel like they have done a disservice. And I absolutely love that. I mean, they 100% sold and bought in onto what they offer. Now, this is one that I struggle with because I don't want to pester anybody. However, the program teaches us that you have to apply pressure. People have to see things 7 to 11 times before they're actually going to make a decision. Okay, so that's just one of the things of reasons why people don't always get to closing the deal. Unwillingness to deal with emotions, lack of belief in the product. If you do not believe in what you are selling, you won't be able to sell it. I can tell you that right now. I've been there. If you don't believe in it, you can just go ahead and hang it up. It's not going to work. Incorrect estimation of effort. Again, we're talking about 10x. People underestimate how much it's actually going to take in order for you to close a deal. Being reasonable, again, that just goes with number 2. No financial plan in place, handling objections that are only complaints, shortage of closing material, and incorrect barrier to the close. So these are just some reasons why closers fail. We go into more detail of this in the actual coaching program, but this masterclass is really just out here so you can actually see some of the material and get some surface level information. And then these are just the objections to fall into 4 different categories: the product, time, stall, and money. Okay, so people have an objection to the product, the time, or they're having stalling techniques, or they're saying it costs too much or too little. Okay, and then what you try to do is figure out what these objections are, and then you're going to say, how do you actually handle the objections that you hear from your clients? And this is saying there's only 2 reasons you won't purchase our product. Can I share them with you? You aren't the decision maker and you can't afford it. This goes back to the hard questions that we talked about earlier. And sometimes you have to get to this hard of a question. And this might be uncomfortable for some people to look one of their potential customers in the face and say, the only reason you ain't buying from us is either you're not the decision maker or you can't afford it. Okay. Be willing to blow the deal with hard questions. Okay. Is basically what he's saying here. Now, in the course, we teach you when to use these tactics, okay? Because I don't want you to go out there and as soon as somebody gives you an objection, this is what you come back with. Because if you've answered the right questions in the beginning, you probably pretty much know which of these 4 that they actually fall into, and then you can develop what that customer objection should be. And then these are just some hard questions. Who else is involved other than yourself? That's like when people have to get a spouse or their business partners. When was the last time you invested this much money? If you have a high ticket option, you may want to know when is the last time that person spent $3,000 on a coaching course. Why are you considering this now? Okay, so like out of all the times that you could have came in and got this service or product, why are you trying to do it now? How can you make sense of this size of an investment? These are things, y'all, if you have a very high ticket option. I don't think my options are that high ticket. The $997 may look a high ticket option because it's a 6-month commitment. But if I had like my, when I had my managed care course originally, it was $3,500. So that may be some of the questions I would ask then. But again, you're not judging somebody's pockets, but you got to think too, what do you consider a high ticket option? Is there any reason why you would change your mind? How liquid are you at this time? Meaning how much cash do you have at your disposal at this time? And why didn't you buy our product? Okay, so these are just some hard questions. And then right here is just pretty much doing an exercise, and you write out the top 2 reasons that your customers won't buy from you. So if you're already in business and you've heard customer objections before, just write out 2 other reasons that your customers won't buy. And then from there, write out what would you say in return now that you've gone through this exercise. If you won't find out if you have a decision maker and money, you can't call yourself a closer. Okay, so Grant's going back to saying, if you're not the decision maker and you don't have the money, you can't call yourself a closer. This goes back to these questions here. You aren't the decision maker and you can't afford it. Okay. And then have some always write a proposal, always ask the person to buy, always ask again, always introduce third party if that's applicable, always ask why, and always ask why not. If you don't have always, then you end up with nevers. I like that statement. 2% of all sales are made on the first contact. This is a mind-blowing slide, okay? This goes back to what I said earlier about applying pressure and his recommendation not to be reasonable. 2% of all sales are made on the first contact, okay? So that means you met somebody, you had an encounter with somebody, and they immediately, right off of the bat, from that first encounter with you, they made a sale. That's only 2% of sales. 3% are on the second, 5% of sales are on the third, 10% of all sales are made on the fourth. 80% of all sales are made between the 5th and the 12th. So if you hadn't even get the 5th point or the 5th part with them yet in touch point, then you probably haven't made that sale. Okay, so you've got to make sure that you are following up with people, and it takes at least 5 to 12 of those follow-ups before the bulk of people will buy from you. And these are just ways that you can have tools for follow-up: phone call, text, email, handwritten letter, personal visit, gimmicks. One of their gimmicks is they send a pizza, and they did it to my business. They sent a pizza and a slice was missing with a note that the only thing missing is us, okay? It's a gimmick. It got my attention. So those are just some things that you can try. Apology contacts, cell phone video message. I've gotten those from them before. Social media, photos, newsletters and blogs, testimonial surveys. So these are just all ways that you can have follow up so that it doesn't get dry. Everybody just don't want always to have an email follow up. Some people want some things that are spiced up, and I think that's important because to you as the business owner, it doesn't get stale, it doesn't get mundane, and also for the person, it may be something that they haven't seen before. I've never had anybody send me a pizza with a slice missing, okay? And then this person right here, it just says, I was arrested for lack of value. We can't provide any value until we close the deal. Can you help me out? This is, again, going back to what I said earlier. And their mission is that they really feel that they're doing a disservice if you do not purchase and buy their products. Okay. And you as an entrepreneur have to feel the same way. You have to feel that if I know I have a good product, I know I have a good service. And from my standpoint is if I know there's a business owner out here who needs some help, who needs to get to the next level, and I can't close them on my coaching services, I have done them a disservice. Okay. And I can't provide them any value, the value that they need until we close the deal. Be so persistent in your follow-up that you stand out as the only choice. Okay, that's profound. Follow up so much and get in there so much that people think that this is the only option I have. This is the only choice I have. I've got to work with this person. 2 ways to get attention. You're either going to advertise, which is going to be expensive, and then social media, which is free. So sometimes we call this organic traffic because it is just absolutely free. For social media, you just start posting things of value. Don't always be salesy. People need to know what you offer, what value you bring. So I have a coaching student, and they are looking and doing some professional development, resume writing, things of that nature. And one of my pieces of advice for her was, being an HR manager in the past, you've gone through lots of interviews. Do a reel or social media post or a carousel that says the top 10 things not to do during an interview. And then as the people are swiping through, they're like, wonder how she knows that, because she's an HR manager in the past. So you're trying to build credibility. You're trying to build value throughout your social media, and that gets you organic growth, and that is free. And then at some point, you can start advertising and pay. Unfortunately, that is where I'm at because I have not done the work to actually build the organic traffic, okay? And then these are the other ways: social media, email, articles, newsletters, blogs, direct mail, and TV. Email has the highest conversion, and you own the email list, which is great. So if something goes down one of these social media sites and you can't access it, you do have your email list that you can still reach out to your prospects and customers. You already paid to acquire it, okay? Whether it was with a free lead magnet or through traffic that you paid for an ad, you've already paid to acquire it. You're not dependent on any platform, and second money is easier than the first. How to build your list. We talked about this. For me, the best way to build my list is through these webinars like I'm doing now, and also by offering lead magnets through my funnels. But here's all kinds of ways that you can actually work to build out your email list. This is a huge statement. I was hoping it was earlier in the presentation. I may need to move it, but the best product never beats the best known product. This goes back to getting you out of obscurity, okay? The best product never beats the best known product, okay? So you want to be the one that is known. You also want to be the one that's the better product, okay? I'm just saying, I like to be the best product, but it doesn't matter if you have the best product if you're not the best known product, okay? So get out of obscurity. Content is king. Make your content work for you, okay? Your content should be able to handle objections. If people are following you and it's taking them 12 times to buy, they shouldn't have any objections because you've already answered them in your content. Also, whenever you're making your content to do these things, you're using, so let's say the objections. And sometimes you get the objection that it's a money issue or it's a value issue, and you've already come up with a response. You can use that in your content, but vice versa, you can use that when you're actually in an appointment with somebody, so you can repurpose that content, and whatever you gave as the answer there is the same answer you're going to give when you're in a live appointment. It helps you to warm up potential prospects, gives you follow-up methods, dominate Google search, okay? So if you're got the right SEO in there, that you should come up to the top of the Google search. Gives you lead generation, increase engagement, promote offers, events, products, and services, and we talked about landing pages earlier. So make your content work for you because content is king. That's going to help you build out the top of your funnel. Other topics to work within content creation. What is it that you or your company do? What are the products or services you deliver? What services you deliver? What's cool or sexy about what you do? Biggest mistakes that customers make, big claims you make, best way to do what you do, worst ways to do what you do, secrets of your business or industry, what does the public not know, what do they need to know, latest news, breakthroughs, hiring expansion, successes you're having, challenges you're having running your business. These are just all topics that you can use to work into your content creation. Answer these questions is a list of 14 different questions that you can ask yourself as you try to build out your content strategy. What I don't want you to say is, I don't know what to post. I don't know what I should be putting out on social media. These 2 slides give you a bunch of information and questions to start you on the right path to building out what you should actually be posting on social media. And so what I want you to do is I want you to take the time to actually do 3 social media post drafts. Who are you and what do you do? What is a big problem that you solve for your clients, and who is your ideal customer and how can you help them? The purpose of advertising and branding is to increase awareness of your company and drive traffic into your sales cycle. So you have to remember that. The reason you're advertising, the reason you're branding, all of that is so that it gets you out of obscurity. People know who you are, know who your company is, and they're driving traffic to your sales cycle. Okay, so you can't get to in front of these people to start selling if you haven't done the work of advertising and branding and marketing. Remember, marketing is senior to sales. Now, let's talk about social media strategy. So why YouTube? I'm on YouTube. I wish I would have started earlier. YouTube is important because you can provide a lot of value. Like this video that I'm creating here, that's going to sit on my YouTube channel. YouTube is going to be it's owned by Google. So therefore, when people are doing Google searches, your video may come up as a suggested video or answer for whatever the person searched for. YouTube is great for small business owners to be able to talk about what they do in longer form content. Okay, so you might can spend 10 minutes to go over what does it look like to do business with you? What kind of services do you offer? You can demonstrate your product on YouTube. So those are some reasons why I think YouTube is important. And it also helps you with your communication skills, which we remember from early on, Warren Buffett said, improving your communication skills can increase your net worth by about 50% over your lifetime. What you get from each channel. So when you're thinking about it, I have Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube. I think of Instagram as a place where I can just put out carousels that have like those fun facts. I'm doing a question and answer series about my business, what people may ask, and then an answer. And then those things will just go on as a post. And the whole point is just to build strategy and awareness. Same thing with Facebook. I also use Facebook to advertise my events. And then I use YouTube to do more explainer videos such as this. So you want to know what do you get from each channel. And then LinkedIn is really for my Medicare space and my consulting business. I try not to mix too much of my business coaching over there because I've already been established there as a Medicare expert and I really don't want to make that swirly. How to create content. Okay, so how do you actually create it? I use Canva a lot to create all of the different strategies. I use different things to create my videos, but that's a whole nother video in and of itself, is on how you actually create the content itself. Equipment needed to make content. You can just use your phone. Your phone is the best thing to go ahead and use. It's something that you already have. Now, I have a lot of other fancy dancy things just because it's me. So here's my DJI Osmo Pocket 3. I do some recording with it. I've got a Sony ZV-E10 camera in the back that I use to take professional pictures as well as video on. You do not need all that expensive stuff. You can literally start with your phone and start taking certain pictures and certain video. We call it B-roll. And then so B-roll is just maybe me sitting here at the computer typing and I'm filming myself. And then I'm going to put text on the screen that may have something to do with my business. Okay. And then what value can you provide for free to your SAM? So that goes back to what is your lead magnet? What are you going to use as your freebie to provide value to SAM in exchange for that email address? And here's Grant's beginner plan weekly content creation. I am not there, okay? So the whole reason I put this in here is so that you could actually come up with what your content creation strategy is. And what I will tell you, this is actually the beginner plan, and then this is his plan over here. So there, he has a whole team that makes sure that they can meet these demands. I don't do that much stuff. I don't have the time. And it goes back to the 10x rule, underestimating the amount of effort that it actually takes to get what you need. Okay, so I'm building this out slowly, but I'm going to get there. But if you can send out like a beginner is one email a day, one weekly article, a blog, two post live streams, two IG stories a day, to me that's a lot. And what I would recommend is that you focus on the channels that you're already on. Okay, if you're on Instagram, go ahead and do it. If you're only on Facebook and not on Instagram, master one before you try to figure out another one to do all this stuff. Unless it's YouTube, because YouTube is going to bring you some additional value for you to just be able to replicate some of the content that you create there. And then this is Randy's resource roundup. I'm actually going to create several different videos that go along with this, but a couple of them on here that I wanted to highlight is my Stand Store. And so Stand Store is what my business coaching students have. So it's literally an end-all be-all. So it has everything in it where you can create your digital courses, you can sell your digital products, you can set up your digital course, your community. It takes payments for you, everything. It has funnels, email automations, everything. So if you're trying to sell digital products, if you're trying to build a course, if you're trying to do an ebook, Stand Store is my recommendation. I have used Teachable in the past. I actually started Teachable with this course. I had somebody sign up through Teachable, and then I've changed over to Stand Store. Calendly, I hate when people are asking me, Renata, can you provide me a couple of times and dates that you're available next week to meet? Nope. You can use my Calendly link. It is a link that has all my calendars together, and so it shows open spots on my calendar, and you can create events for people to actually be able to book time with you. ManyChat is what I talked about earlier. When you comment book on like Instagram post and it sends you a DM of that link to the book. So that's just an automation. I use that. That's ManyChat. InVideo and vidIQ, those are resources I use for my YouTube channel. They help me to create videos, and vidIQ helps me to optimize for SEO, keywords, title, thumbnail. ChatGPT, use it all the time. Okay, ChatGPT helped me to put this my Medicare ebook together, and so I use ChatGPT all the time. And Canva I used to create my actual social media content. I do have a short that I created on how to bulk create in Canva. We actually went over that in detail in our very first masterclass that we held this past Saturday. So all these things in here I go over in our business coaching class each month or each class. I haven't decided how I'm going to do it. I want it to be able to be baked into what we're already doing so it just flows naturally. So this past Saturday it was how to bulk create in Canva, because one of the assignments was I wanted everyone to create 10 pieces of content that they could actually go out on social media and post over the next couple of weeks. And with that, it is 1 hour and 23 minutes in. This is going to be edited because I had some places in it where I had to pause, but this is the end of the webinar. I appreciate it if you stayed the entire time. If you had to stop it and restart it and stop it and restart it, that is even better, because that means you actually took the time to do the exercises to implement what you learned. I would appreciate it if you want to know more and you want to actually get into one of our business coaching products. Please, by all means, find a product that works for you. If you're not for sure, feel free to book a call with me. I'll leave my Calendly link below and you can book a call with me and we can discuss further. But right now, I want to appreciate everybody for joining in and tuning in. Please like and subscribe to the channel as well so you can see other videos that come up, because I don't gatekeep y'all. The business coaching is really one of those things where it's going to be in order and it's going to be accountability, but I'm providing a lot of value for free on my YouTube channel as well. So thank you, and I appreciate your time.